Good afternoon. Give me one moment here to make sure that good to go. It looks like we are good. So, good afternoon. Carol Buckalew with Inky Stampers. Just checking to make sure I don't have my phone silenced. Hopefully you can hear me out there. So I have been creating cards this past week using products that are going to be retiring at the end of April. And I've kind of been having fun pulling out, you know, all these different stamp sets and dies that I haven't used in a while. It's been a lot of fun, and I've been kind of pulling my favorites, which I think, you know, we all kind of like to do. But today, hey Mary, thanks so much. Mary, can you just confirm that you can hear me? I was having some issues. If you could just confirm that I have audio. Okay, no confirmation. Thank you, Faith, appreciate it. Welcome. I was having some issues. I was actually having issues with my screen. I don't know. Hi, Rosie. Thanks so much for joining. I don't know if Facebook has made some changes, but for whatever reason, I have like this wide angle view. And when I was framing up the shot before I went live, I couldn't see anything past like this point here, down. And I'm like, well, okay, that's going to make it really narrow to work and try to show folks. But anyway, welcome everybody. Carol Buckalew with Inky Stampers. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And as I was mentioning, I've been focusing the last week on pulling out some products that are going to be retiring at the end of April. And I've been having a lot of fun doing that. And today I pulled out one of my favorite die sets, and that is the Paper Florist dies. And I just love these dies. And, you know, I think I'm going to hold on to this set because I just love them so much. Right, you can always count on Facebook to make changes and not tell us about it at all. So, yeah, there's that. But anyway, so there's lots of dies in the Paper Florist die set. And they are so much fun to play with. And obviously, you can make your flowers any color that you would like. Hey, Jenny, thanks so much for joining. Good afternoon. But I primarily focused on these dies, and then there's a whole sheet of dies that I didn't use for this project today. And you can see that my flowers on this card are pretty non-traditional. I've got Pebble Path and Pecan Pie and some gold. This card was designed for the Happy Inkin Thursday blog hop, which is tomorrow. We have a color challenge, so I'm really excited. Usually when we have a color challenge, we have like 5 or 6 colors to choose from, and you have to pick at least 3. Well, this time we have 3 colors. So these colors actually are kind of pulled from the what is it called? The Nature Sweetness 12 by 12 Specialty Designer Series paper. And there's a whole suite of products that goes with that. And those are kind of primarily the colors. But I wanted to do something different. And I wanted to use a retiring product. So out came the Paper Florist dies. I also have used the Sending Smile stamp set and the Sending dies. These also are both retiring. So, and this is an awesome, awesome stamp set and dies. If you don't have these and you don't have the Paper Florist dies, you need to think about maybe grabbing them before they retire because they really are great sets. All right, let's get on with the card. It is probably going to take me a hot minute to put some of this stuff together, so I do apologize for that. But anyway, let's get started here. So I have a piece of the Nature Sweetness Designer Series paper, the newsprint, and it's got some gold foil on it, if you can see the shine there. Really, really pretty paper. And I'm going to go ahead and get this glued up to a pebbled path mat. I am drawing a blank on pebbled path today. I'm not sure why. I'll tell you, it's been the last week or so has been crazy. But, and it's been rainy. We've had like 3 straight days of rain. I think it's going to rain tomorrow. So I'm looking just for an equal reveal around this DSP to make sure I've got that good. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put this on my card front. I've got a pecan pie card base. And let me flip this over. I'm going to pop this panel up with some dimensionals. So I don't know. Hopefully everybody was safe. Mary, how'd you make out last night? I couldn't stay awake to keep an eye on what was going on with the tornadoes, but I know there was a bad outbreak yesterday afternoon and last night, and I think more were expected today, but I haven't really heard anything. But hopefully you are safe and all is well in your neck of the woods, and that goes for everybody else here. Hopefully everyone is safe. So this DSP is directional. You can read the words on the DSP. So you want to make sure that you're putting this on your card front so that you can read the newsprint. And that looks good to me. Just making sure that I had a reveal all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and work on the inside of my inside panel. Let me show you the card. So I did this a few weeks ago on a card, and I really like the effect. I basically have a 1/2 inch strip of the DSP that I'm using on the card front, and then that is flanked on top and bottom by a 1/8 inch strip. It's actually between a 1/8 and a 1/4. It's a thin strip of cardstock in pebbled path, and I just really like the look of that. So I decided to do that on this card again. You had a ton of rain, a little lightning, tornadoes east of you. You were awake for all of it. Hopefully it wasn't in the wee hours of the morning. I'm so sorry to hear that you were up having to watch weather. I know how that is. Yeah, it gets scary. It really, really gets scary. All right, I just realized that I put glue all the way out to the end of that strip. Probably shouldn't have done that because I need to trim that strip. So I want to make sure when I'm putting this on that I've got, about a 1/4 inch or so there at the bottom. And I want to make sure it doesn't move. I thought I felt it move. That's why I was checking it. Yeah, not fun. Not fun at all. But I get it because you get really worried and you want your loved ones and yourself and your animals to be safe. And so we keep watch, don't we? That's what we do. And it's no fun, that's for sure. All right, I'm going to put a little 1/2 inch strip of the DSP. This one's sized more appropriately. The strips of cardstock were just a tad long. And I'm just skimming that glue over this piece. I really don't need a lot of glue for that piece. And I'm going to go ahead and just butt that right up against the cardstock strip. I have this bad feeling I'm going to go over a 1/2 hour today. So if I do that, my apologies. I was thinking about pre-assembling some of this, and I'm like, well, somebody might want to see how, the flowers are put together. So I didn't do that. All right, and so I have the craziest bottle of glue. This bottle of glue has really been a nuisance. It's almost empty, and it wants to spurt all this glue out of the top. So the other day when I was working on small stuff and gluing up, the glue kept popping out of the top of the bottle, even when I had the bottle sitting up straight. I don't know if you can see the bead of glue on top of this stupid bottle, but I'm about ready to like chuck it before it's empty because it's really annoying. So I'm like, okay, well, there's an air bubble. So I was banging the bottle down, right, trying to get the air bubble out, and it is still popping glue up out of the top. Craziest thing I've ever seen. All right, I'm just gonna trim that strip like I've done with the other pieces, and just trim them flush with my panel, and then I can go ahead and get this I can get this glued up to a Pebble Path mat and get it inside of the card. And then the inside of our card will be done. And we can focus on making pretty flowers. And again, I'm looking for that equal reveal all the way around. And that's why I like glue. Although I might have just messed myself up. I think we're good. All right, let's get this inside of the card. And there goes another big drop of glue on the end of that bottle. That is the craziest thing. And it's almost empty. I can't imagine why it would be doing that. And there it goes. It's spouting more glue. Hey, Sharon, thanks so much for joining. Get this on the inside of the card. And just trying to get that centered on the inside as best as possible. But doesn't that make a pretty finished border for the inside of the card? I really like that look. All right, we're going to set that aside for just a minute. We are going to do a very minimal stamping. I'm going to use Pebble Path ink. It's the only color ink I used on this card. And this is a sentiment label from the Sending Dies. And there are two slender labels. This is the smaller of the two. So I use this die from the Sending Die set. And we are going to stamp a note of thanks on this skinny little die. Let me just line this up on my paper here. And photopolymer, so easy to see through, easy to line up. Hopefully I won't mess it up. It's a little difficult when you've got a camera set up, just because I don't want my head blocking your view. So I need to kind of sit back and do that. That's actually a little bit low. I'm gonna try again, maybe pull it to myself a little bit more here. Let's try that one more time. Oh, look, I've got a tiny bit of glue on my fingers. So my fingers are wanting to stick to everything. It's always the way it goes. All right, let's try that one more time. I got it just slightly low. I think that is, let's try that. See how we do. You just ordered all of the new in colors, Faith. Yeah, they're really beautiful colors. I like the new in colors a lot. And I put my pre-order in yesterday, and yeah, ordered all the goodies. So I should have everything tomorrow. So I'm super excited to receive that order. And hopefully by Friday, I'll be able to make a card for you all with some new products. All right. This is just a little greenery sprig from the Sending Smile stamp set. And I am going to stamp that here on the front of my envelope. Let me just make sure I have this facing the right way. And I'm going to stamp once and then second generation stamp another time on the other side of that first. And then I'm going to ink this up again, stamp off once, and just stamp that same image on the other side. And there we go. There is our envelope. And that is it for the stamping. Minimal stamping on this card. Let me close this dark ink up before it gets all over the place and set that aside. And we've got our flowers here. So I have already die cut the flower pieces, and I'll try to show you which dies I used for that. Let me set my sentiment somewhere safe so I don't lose it. So from the sending dies, there is a background stamp. I have cut this out in Pebble Path. I've already put my little dot on top of the eye there so I wouldn't lose it. It is so tiny. And then I cut out so this is the background sending, and then this is the actual script for the word sending. And that was cut out of distress gold specialty paper. This distress gold paper is retiring as well. And Mary, do you know if the distress gold is going into online exclusives or not? I kind of hope it does, because if it goes away completely, I'm going to be so sad. I love distress gold paper. So what I'm doing here is I used adhesive sheets when I die cut this scripted word, just to make it easier on myself to get it adhered. The first card I did, I actually used liquid glue. It makes a bit of a mess. So this time I opted to use the adhesive sheets. You don't think that it is going to online exclusives? Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. So I am just going letter by letter here, and you have a bit of a bend in this script. And the adhesive sheets aren't super tacky. So, you know, it's sticking to my hand, but it's not so bad that I can't get it released. And, you know, without tearing that delicate die cut. And then the script is kind of flexible, so it gives you a little leeway in putting that down. But it makes a really pretty greeting. I'm going to set that aside, and then we will go ahead and focus on the die cut. So I've got 2 leaves cut from this die, from distress gold paper, that we're going to arrange on the card front. And then I'm going to go ahead and start assembling some of my flowers here. So I've got Pebble Path, and I cut this flower from this die. And we're going to go ahead and start gluing up. I'm just putting a dot in the center there. They are on the retiring list for sure. That's what I was afraid of, the distress gold paper. Thank you, Mary, for checking. I knew it was on the retirement list, but I thought, well, maybe they're just going to add it to the online store. And I hadn't read that anywhere or anything, but I was just being hopeful. And then, so the 2 larger petal sections, I'm going to put on the bottom of this flower, and then I'm offsetting the petals as I put these together. And that liquid glue does give you a bit of leeway, which is always good. And then I'm offsetting again with the smaller section. Give that a hold for just a second. Alrighty, and then I've got a flower center, and that is this center here, cut from distress gold. We're going to go ahead and put that on top. Crazy glue bottle. I just never have seen anything like that. That is just crazy. Alrighty, and if you can see it, this is a tiny little center cut from pecan pie. I mean tiny. And that is this die, and that die cuts 4 at one time. So I had extra that I don't need. Just put a little bit of glue there in the center, and use my reverse tweezers and get that down. And I see a little extra glue. I'm just going to kind of use the point of my tweezers to get that off, and that looks good. I am going to let this dry a bit. Whoops, get back in the center there. There we go. I'm going to let this dry for just a bit, so I'm going to set that off to the side, and we'll go ahead and work on our next flower. And our next flower is cut from pecan pie, and it is this die here. with one of these centers. And again, I've got two larger petal sections that I'm going to adhere to each other, and then two smaller petal sections. But I do a craft fair in December, and I'm going to hold on to these retiring dies just for that purpose, in case I want to do. These dies are great to do like home decor pieces, and I've done one in the past that I featured on my blog. If you search Paper Florist on my blog, you would be able to find, you know, that project that I did. And it was just, I had bought like a little inexpensive 6x6 wooden frame from like Michael's, and I made a bunch of flowers. Actually, I should have two projects out on my blog. I did a sea themed one, and then I did kind of a spring flower one, and made those up to sell at the craft fair that I attend. All right, so I've got the two larger sections on the bottom, the two smaller sections on the top, and the petals are all offset to give that flower a nice full appearance. And then I am going to offset that flower center as well, the little prongs that are coming out. All right, we've got that flower put together. Let me just get the excess glue off. And then flower number 3, and then we could start putting these on our card. So this flower is basically flower centers that I'm using as a small flower. So it is these two dies, this larger die. So I'm using this piece and this piece, and then another flower center over here. And I cut that out twice. Once in pecan pie and once in distressed gold. And it makes a cute little flower. If you made this in blues, it would be probably like a pretty, like blue and yellow, it would be a pretty bachelor's button maybe. I used to grow bachelor's buttons in my garden. I love wildflowers. And that little circle. So this particular flower is more about the stacking. Oh, they were a flyover for you, Rosie. Well, it's not too late. You can still get them. You can still get them. You know, if it's something you enjoy. I really enjoyed them. I get a lot of use out of these dies. All right, I'm going to put my pecan pie center on first, and then I'm going to go ahead, just a little dot of glue, and I'm going to offset those little prongs that are shooting off so that the pebble path shows through the gold. I know this is tiny. My apologies. Well, that's the beauty of these dies, Faith. You can put these pieces together any way that you want. Just watch somebody's video. Maybe I did a video on putting the different flowers together. But you know what? There's no wrong or right way. The only one that I know people like were, what do I do with this? What do I do with this die? And I'll show you. So this die cuts a long strip, and it cuts little teeth down about halfway through. That particular flower gets rolled up. So a little piece of glue at the beginning, and you just roll it up, and it makes the cutest little fluffy flower that you've seen. All right, we have our flowers together, and hopefully you guys, I'm not boring you guys to death. But what I wanted to do was, I want to kind of lay my pieces out, because we need to make sure that everything is going to fit on the card front, right? So what I want to do is I want to pop up my sentiments here first and get them down, so that that kind of tells me where I have room to place those flowers. And Get a couple of dimensionals on here. I can tell you that you'll need to use mini dimensionals for this particular. Now my dimensionals are cut in half. They fit fairly well on these larger sections, but not everywhere. So, you know, it may be necessary to cut. Actually, I might have placed those. I just need a little one there, maybe, and a little one there. And let me see here if I can squeeze that in without being seen. So really, all I need is a piece to kind of put up here to support that S. And then maybe I'll use this little sliver on the D. And I think we're good. Okay. So let me get the sending down first. Page 33 in the old caddy to see the center. Oh, of the die I was describing. Thank you, Rosie. Appreciate that for you looking that up. Yeah, it is, it makes a really pretty flower center, that one that you roll up. But when I saw that die, I'm like, how in the heck? So then I just went in search of videos, and sure enough, somebody, another demonstrator had done a video showing how to use that die. So that was perfect. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get this on our card front. And I want to kind of down here towards the bottom and somewhat straight, hopefully. Yeah, that looks good. And let's get our second sentiment on. So this says, sending a note of thanks. And I'm going to just kind of put this over here, just under the word sending, just like that, and we are good. And everything else is going to get adhered down. So let's work on that. And our large flower, so it's had a chance to dry. I am just going to kind of, you know, pull out those little petals and curl them up between my index finger and my thumb, just to give them a little bit of dimension. We could have done this before we put them together, but to be honest with you, I found that it's easier to do it after it's glued together. When the flowers are kind of cupped, it's a little bit more difficult to work with them. I want this particular flower right up there, and we're going to kind of curl these up as well. And I'm just kind of separating those petals and pushing them up. There we go. But that really does give them some nice dimension. And this one is going to go right about there. And then our little flower is going to, no, we can put this one down here. I did it differently on the other. So let's go ahead and just going to start adhering. All of these are going to be adhered down with liquid glue. This glue bottle is so going in the trash as soon as I'm done. As soon as I'm done this video, it's going in the trash. All right, let's get this one down. And make sure, I want to make sure this flower is not extending past the edges of my card. So let me go ahead and get this one glued down. And I'm only really putting glue on the center. And I want this little petal to stick on kind of atop that one. There we go. And just two more things here and our card front will be complete. We'll get our leaf down. And let's have this one. I did this a little bit differently on my other card, but it doesn't matter. That's the beauty of you know, doing kind of these collage type cards, right? All right, so that is our card front. All we have left to do is the envelope. So Last Chance product sale will be starting on April 9th. I have information out on my blog showing the list of upcoming retired products. And the Last Chance products is up to 60% off, so I think the glue is done. All right, I've got another bottle here. I'm missing the linen thread. I opted not to do thread, Rosie. I've actually used linen thread, I think, a couple of times this week already because it's one of my faves. But anyway, Last Chance products, that sale will go from April 9th to April 30th. If there's really something you're wanting, grab it early, especially, you know, if it's a retiring color, ink, cardstock, that kind of thing, popular sets, popular papers, they will go fast. So, you know, don't wait. And then the annual and mini catalogs are retiring on April 30th. So very sad to see that, but that means new and exciting things are coming. And so the new catalog products will be available to customers on May 1st. If you think you might want to get a hold of some new products that are upcoming earlier than May 1st, join my team. You can find all the information out on my blog at inkybstampers.com or reach out to me at inkybstampers@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have. But why, you know, purchase a starter kit, be able to put, you know, upcoming products in that kit, and then future orders you get 20% off. Not to mention that we have a really, really awesome team and lots of fun, very supportive. So it's kind of a no-brainer. Like, get the discount, you know, get new products before anybody else, and so that's a lot of fun. And then we've got 2 new kits in the kits collection, the By Your Side kit and the Hooray for Honeycomb kit. You can check those out on my blog as well. And April Paper Pumpkin is Delicate Wings, and that has an add-on die set with it. And if you want that particular kit, it's butterflies, and it's beautiful. I can't wait to get my kit. But if you want the Delicate Wings Paper Pumpkin kit, you would need to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin no later than April 10th. And that is the card for the day. I actually only went about 3 minutes over. I surprised myself. But again, Paper Florist dies. Grab them if you want them. They are awesome. And the Sending Smiles stamp set and Sending dies were also used here. And I did forget one little thing. These are the brushed metallic adhesive back dots. These are also retiring, and I love these. I love these metallic dots, but I'm going to put one right there in the center of our pecan pie flower. There we go, to finish up that card. So that is it. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. Thank you, Mary, appreciate it. I will see you all back here next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Have a great rest of the day. Hope the sun's shining where you are. Take care. Bye-bye.